Begin afresh every morning. Devotional thoughts for women.
Good morning, dear friends. Today, May 27th, 2023, our devotional is entitled, A Call to Restore. The scripture reading is taken from Ezra chapter 3, verse 3. Though fear had come upon them because of the people of those countries, they set the altar on its basis, and they offered burnt offerings on it to the Lord, both the morning and evening burnt offerings. The people of Judah and Benjamin returned to their land after 70 years of Babylonian exile. They renewed the services of the temple that had been interrupted when Jerusalem was destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar. To celebrate their return, they held a holy convocation on the first day of the Jewish New Year. As their first official act, the altar was rebuilt. They were determined to never again fall into the sin of indifference and idolatry. The joy, the songs of praise, and the shouts of happiness were mixed with the sound of weeping from the elders who remembered with melancholy the ancient glory of the Temple of Solomon. Ezra chapter 3 verses 12 and 13. The hostility of the neighboring cities was palpable. Many of them had occupied parts of Judea during the exile, and by order of King Cyrus, they had to return those lands to their legitimate owners. So the return of the Jews was an unwelcome event for them, and more so when they learned that the recently arrived Jews would allow no other worship in their lands than the worship of the true God. Although the Jew had the king's permission to return, they met serious resistance from the local inhabitants, which filled the newcomers with fear. In spite of the risk, they moved forward with their project, and their fears subsided as they progressed in the building of the altar, and at last they celebrated their victory. Not all those who have been exiled returned, since many had settled and prospered in Babylon. They had married, and for their children, Babylon was the only home they knew. They were not willing to leave their well-paid salaries and their social life to go suffer hardship in their native land. They missed out on the honor of working with God in the task of restoration. You too are called to restore. Perhaps your broken family, your marriage relationship, or a divided church. Beginning this work is not attractive, but it can bring great satisfaction. All we have a second chance to begin again. God is a God of opportunities. His mercies are new every morning. If you decide to become a restorer, God promises you, then your light shall break forth like the morning. Your healing shall spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry, and he will say, Here I am. Then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. Isaiah chapter 58, verses 8 to 10.